Hello guys, Austin Powers here. What is up? Happy New Year. A little late on the New Year happiness. How was your New Year? I had a pretty great New Year. Started off, as my friend said, started off 2012 with a bang. I went to, well, before the New Year, late at night on the 31st, I went to see a concert. I think it's a band from New York. They're called the Alchemistics, and it was really good. And I was in a local town, had some fun, and yeah, it was definitely a good New Year. How were your guys' New Year's? I mean, I'm not gonna give details, but yeah, very fun. So, I guess this video I'd like to talk about a couple things, and now I'm blanking on that. One is my New Year's gaming resolutions. 2, what can you guys expect in the upcoming new year from me in terms of videos in this channel? And 3, did I just say 3, or is this 3? This is 3, I think. I'm spaced out, man. So number 3 would be I want to talk about new consoles coming in the future. Because I hate the idea of new consoles. And I'm gonna just play around in Saints Row while I do this. Zone out, man. You know what I'm saying, man. So yeah, let's change clothes, man, because they just told us to change some clothes. We're wearing a spaceman suit, man. This is dope, man. Okay. So let's start with my gaming New Year's resolutions. And this is pretty much the same resolution as I had last year. I don't know if you guys, some of you guys probably saw that video where I talked about my gaming resolutions. And one of the main things was I want to really appreciate and play all the games I get the way they deserve to be played. By that I mean I want to really play through them and give them all the fair chances they deserve. And sometimes I feel like I purchase games. Oh, I just used the word purchase instead of buy. I feel so fancy. I purchase games thinking I'm going to love them, and without really thinking about the fact that they're not necessarily for me. And in this particular case, this year I got a lot of games. I got 5 games in this past year period of time, I guess. It's not technically this year because I'm talking about the academic year, not the other kind of year. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, I got the 5 games I got, and I'm not gonna list them because I'm not gonna remember. Battlefield 3, Batman, Saints Row, Skyrim, and Gears of War 3, and I think that's it. And then I got 2 games for Hanukkah/Christmas from the loved ones, and that was Uncharted 3 and Rage, which I'm loving. I'm loving Rage right now. I haven't started Uncharted 3. But, yeah. So, my New Year's resolution for gaming last year was to really spend all the time that the games deserve, appreciate the games, and play them the way they deserve to be played. And I feel like I've done that for most of the games, except for Battlefield 3 and Gears of War 3. I feel like I didn't play those games enough for the what they're worth and for the content that's there. I haven't really dove into them, and I don't feel this strong desire to. So I haven't really done it yet. But I do plan on doing it. I do. So essentially, I would like to just really fully play the games, and that's the big thing for me. When I look at a game like Skyrim or Call of Duty Black Ops, which is probably one of the best examples, after I've kind of pretty much finished playing it, when I look at that game, I can say to myself either, wow, for the $60 I paid for this game, I got a massive amount of enjoyment and gameplay. And mostly for Black Ops, because all my friends played that with me. I played that with my friends when they were here. That was a game that I played hours and hours of. Same with Skyrim. I look at it now, even though I'm not finished with it, and I can say I'm satisfied with having bought that game. It was a smart purchase. Things like Gears of War 3, not as much, because I haven't played enough of that game to really, I guess, warrant a purchase. But the thing is, Gears of War 3, it's kind of a special case because I did get that game completely free. I got $100 back out of, if I bought 5 games, I got $100 back for them. So essentially, I paid for the for the $300 that it cost to get 5 games. I paid $200, which is the price to get like 3 games. So essentially, got like 1 3/4 games free, which is pretty sick. So I can consider whichever game on that list did not fully, meet my expectations and my wants and need. I can say, okay, that was the game that I got free. So it doesn't bug me as much. What I just do? Look at this. We inside the bridge up in here. This is called the bridge, and this is called. Damn, car. You're a special kind of car. What just happened there? Weird. Okay. Anyways, so yeah. Where was I? New Year's resolutions. Yeah. So play my games more fully, and make sure I, really think about the games before I buy them. And that's only really applies to Gears of War this year because I didn't love the game. I got to admit. It's a very good game. It's very packed with content, but didn't love it. Another New Year's resolution for gaming is actually has to do with this channel. I would like to set up a weekly show, maybe 1, maybe 2 weekly shows. That's essentially would comprise a scheduled recording and a scheduled game and something that would always be the same every week. So you guys could know, like, oh, if I check my sub box on Fridays, I will see from Austin Powers' channel, it will always be a Call of Duty Friday where he talks about his gaming that week, or like whatever it is that that's scheduled. Just something that's concrete and scheduled. So I'm not always just doing random Saints Row videos because it's fun, but it does get a little boring after a while, I guess you could say. So yeah, those are my 2 main gaming New Year's resolutions. My main New Year's resolution outside of gaming, my normal New Year's resolution, is to stop procrastinating, and I know it's not going to happen. It really won't, because it doesn't ever. I say that every year, but it doesn't happen, because that's my biggest downfall in terms of getting things done and getting things done well. I feel like I don't get things done to my full capacity as a result of my procrastination. I feel like I could get straight A's, and I could have more hobbies and, do all sorts of stuff with my life if I didn't procrastinate as much. Whoa, did you see that shake a screen? So that's something I need to work on. I'm going to try to actually work on it this year, though. We'll see. So yeah, those are my resolutions. Next I'm going to talk about my channel in the upcoming year. Now, right now, the future looks pretty bleak in terms of this channel, because I don't think I'm going to be getting Modern Warfare 3 anytime soon. Even if I do, it's too late to start doing commentaries for a game like that. I'm sure you guys already follow a channel that does that game. Next year I don't know if Grand Theft Auto is coming out next year, but I will most certainly be playing Grand Theft Auto for you guys, because that's, similar to Saints Row in that it's a good game to do commentaries for. This style of commentary, they're just kind of free roam commentary. What you doing? This is my lane. This is my lane. So get the hell out. Look at the red inside of this status quo. So yes. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, whenever that comes out, I'm surely gonna cover that. Mass Effect 3, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm probably gonna get that around when it comes out. I don't know when it comes out, but I don't know what I'm gonna cover. I'll do something with it. Maybe a couple short videos. If it's something you guys enjoy, I can go further with that. Maybe do a let's play or something. But yeah, that's most certainly something. Then all the DLCs. I mean, I'm not really counting that as like new things, because that's something that's, if it's a Saints Row DLC, you've already seen Saints Row. If it's a Skyrim DLC, you've already seen some Skyrim. But I'm gonna be doing some DLC. So whenever the Saints Row DLC comes out, which it should be January, I believe, I'm gonna start doing that. And why did I just throw a grenade? Same with the Skyrim DLC. I am tired. There we go. I got that yawn out. Excuse me, let me just self-destruct over here. Boom. I love doing this on the road and just destroying lots of vehicles. Boom! It's funny when there's a vehicle with people in it. Let me try to show you guys. And people, oh, that bus is perfect. And the people go flying out of it. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, maybe this one. Excuse me. There we go. Where's the person? Ugh. It's not working. The one time I want to show you guys something. I'm not lying. I swear it happens. There we go. You see the guy fly up and hit the sign? Okay. Anyways. So yeah. Yeah, the flaming guy there. That's really funny. Me and my sadistic, evil views of what is funny. Oh, quadruple. Alright, so yeah. You can expect DLC, you can expect Grand Theft Auto, maybe some Mass Effect, and probably some Bioshock Infinite. If there's something else I'm completely missing, maybe tell me something that I'm obviously going to be getting but not thinking about. I don't know. I never know. But yeah, that's my general plan. And I would like to continue doing Saints Row the Third commentaries. Hopefully, the DLCs will offer some new content for me to cover, though. So yeah, I'm not gonna drone on about that for too long. I want to talk about one last thing, and I'm sorry this wasn't as fun of a commentary, but I'm just trying to get through business, you know, tell you what I'm trying to say, get everything out. So the last thing I want to talk about, and this is the most somber, the bad news. I gave you the good news first, which is I don't know what the good news was. That I had a good New Year's, and hopefully you guys did. That's the good news. But here comes the bad news. And this is not really bad news because it's not really officially news yet. But the console generation we are currently in is getting stale, and not in a bad way. In fact, I think that not actually getting stale. That's a terrible word to use. Is getting wise. There we go. The console generation we are currently in is getting a lot wiser. So that by that I mean the developers are really getting a grasp on the technology in these consoles. So the quality of games has been increasing year after year. So you know, a lot of people would say that this is the best year in gaming so far. And then last year people were saying that was the best year in gaming, and the year before people were saying that, and there's a reason for that. It's because people are getting a real grasp of the technology in these consoles, and I think that that's something that, you know, should really not be ignored. I don't think we need new consoles. I really don't. But the reality of it is that it's most likely going to happen, and it's probably going to happen within the next couple of years. We're probably going to have a new console generation start, and here's my opinion on that. So look, when new consoles come out, there's I guess what would you call like a period of bad quality games. That's what you call it. Like for example, in a lot of the time people get really hyped about the games before they come out, and then they actually come out and people are like, oh yeah, this is actually really crappy. Why was I even excited for this? For example, the PS3 when it first launched. And I'm not going to talk about the Xbox actually because they had a fairly good launch, but you know, nothing compared to the games we're seeing now. Okay, I gotta stop doing this. This is probably getting boring for you guys. But the PS3 when it launched, there were a lot of games like Lair and Fatal Inertia that everyone thought were going to be great, that looked cool, and they turned out to be absolute crap. You know, the 6-axis controller in Lair, that thing, you know, that whole thing never worked out. It just, the games at launch generally aren't good for any console. And, you know, I'm not really talking about Wii, and no offense to Wii lovers, but I don't even consider the Wii a serious console because it gets maybe 1 or 2 good games every year. It's not worthy, in my opinion. But when I say that, I definitely don't mean to diss games like Zelda, for example, which are incredible. I haven't actually played it, but it seems incredible. It gets incredible reviews. My friend loves it, and you know, in general, it's supposed to be a great game. I'm not dissing those games. I'm dissing the thousands of, not thousands, but hundreds of terrible games that come out every year as a result of the hardware itself just being not so great. I'm just focusing on Xbox 360 and PS3. So when the PS3 first came out, the games were not that great, you know? And that lasted for a while. Like, there were no really good games. Even the first Uncharted game, for example, was not that great. The first Resistance was not that great. I don't actually know if the first Resistance was even on PS3 though. But then games started to really mature, become more wise, and the developers became more wise with the consoles. So, for example, Uncharted 2 was really a symbol of, you know, how incredibly powerful the PS3 was if you could use it correctly. And after that, games really started to pick up. I mean, there's a lot of PS3 exclusives out there that are just so high quality. Look at, I mean, the Killzone series, extremely high quality. Heavy Rain, I haven't played it, but it looks like an incredible game, and it got a lot of great reviews and stuff. The Uncharted series, the Resistance series, you know, there's plenty of examples of really great games that have come with the maturing console generation. And sorry if this is terrible driving, I'm just kind of spacing out and moving my thumbs. But the current games that are coming out right now are just incredible, and they never cease to amaze. Like, for example, right now we're looking at more games coming out for the PS3. And probably Xbox as well, like Halo 4 and stuff. But like, The Last of Us, for example, I want to just use that as an example. Naughty Dog has maybe exhausted their Uncharted franchise. So, what are they doing? Moving on to the next great series that they're going to create, which is The Last of Us, whether it's a series or not. And it's going to be a great game. I have no doubt about it. And why? Because they've really grasped the technology. And that's what makes... That's the you know, a good spot to start for creating a good game is to understand the technology you're working with, and that's what's happened. I mean, look at just the improvement for, like, Halo Reach was a great game, and I hate Halo, but I enjoyed Halo Reach. Great game for the Xbox, and that's pretty recent. I mean, you look at the graphics in the games as well. Like, it's not like it's stuff that couldn't have been done years ago. It could have. It's just that people have, like, when the Xbox first launched, well, maybe not exactly when it first launched, but in its early years, they could have created the graphics that they're creating now with Battlefield 3 if they had, you know, had that grasp of the technology, but they didn't. So it's not to say that a new console generation will bring about bad games for like a year or something. It's just to say that we're gonna miss the incredible refined quality. I mean, you just look at the top-rated games. Go to any gaming website. Look at the top-rated games, and I promise you, you'll be surprised to see that there's such a massive list of games that scored like 8.0 and above, which is a really good score. But if you go back a couple years, you'll see those games, and maybe they'll even have those scores, but you'll know that they weren't as good. But the scores and just the games in general just weren't as good, even though they were using the same hardware. And that's what's going to happen if there's new console generation. There will be less refined games. Not bad, just less refined and less quote-unquote perfect. Now, the other big problem with a new console generation is the games for the other consoles, like Xbox 360 and PS3, if there's an Xbox 720 and a PS4, they're going to stop making games pretty abruptly for these consoles, and everyone who doesn't move to the next generation will just be left in the dust, which is unfair. It really is. I probably won't be moving on to the next generation very quickly if it comes about soon, and a lot of people won't, especially considering the economic crisis our country and the world is in right now. It's hard to think about, you know, buying a whole new console and, you know, stuff like that. It's just the cost and it's not necessarily worth it. And that's another reason I don't think a new console generation right now is a good idea. I think that if I were right now, if I were Sony, if I were Microsoft, if I were, you know, the people making the decisions up in the big offices saying like, oh, should we create the Xbox 720? I would say no. No, you shouldn't. You should be focusing on refining the hardware that's already here by supporting the developers that produce such incredible games like Bungie, or which is now like 343 Industries or whatever, like Naughty Dog, like Bethesda, who creates incredible games like Skyrim, like DICE. You know, just support those developers, help them continue to understand the technology and get better and better at it. Because I want you guys to tell me this. How is it that year after year the graphics in games get better and better, yet it's all using these same consoles? It's because people are understanding the consoles more and creating engines that work with the consoles that are more refined and more high quality. So I'm going to stop rambling on. I'm sure you guys have heard enough of my ranting, but I want to leave you with one last thing. And this is the destruction of my Xbox. My previous Xbox broke, and so I'm going to destroy it. And I need some... I need some more ideas. So far I've got some great ideas, like throwing it off a roof, blowing it up, setting it on fire, putting it in a microwave. You know, there's lots of great ideas I've gotten so far. And I actually have a Word document going. I'm listing my ideas and the ideas I'm getting. So leave ideas. Leave the, you know, and I don't even care if they're wacky anymore. Just leave any ideas. I want to hear everything, because my goal is to combine several of the ideas to create something really fun. Like, I don't know, fill it with lighter fluid, set it on fire, throw it off the roof, and then run over it. Like, combine a bunch of stuff to make a fun video and do something really wacky. So leave that last thing I want you to do before you click away from this video. And I know it's very tempting to just click on the next video on the right side of your screen that looks really fun and really interesting. I urge you, please take one quick moment to leave a comment. It can be a word or 2 words, like blow it up, or drown it, or just anything. I want to get suggestions. So please, 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 please take the 2 seconds while I'm speaking right now and driving around like a fool to go down there, click, and type it in. I know you guys can do this, and I know you guys are supportive of me, so I'd really appreciate that. I am doing this for you guys because, you know, I would like you guys to enjoy the destruction of my Xbox. So anyways, thank you for watching. Please rate, absolutely comment, and talk, and give me your suggestions, and subscribe to my channel.